Just a quick reminder, guys, that 99% of people that are telling you how to live your life are completely and utterly miserable, right? They don't have the life you want to live. Every single day they wake up with resentment in their heart, with dead dreams, with dead aspirations, with nothing that's actually worth fighting for, nothing that's actually animating them, that's actually pushing them towards anything. So stop listening, right? You don't have to listen to these people. Whatever they have to say is irrelevant, because if somebody says something but they're unhappy, then you should never listen to them, because whatever it is that they believe is part of a conglomerate, of an ecosystem that makes them miserable, you know? Especially when we're talking about things like psychology, things about like, how to live your life and whatever. If the person that is trying to give you advice is miserable, they're not happy, they don't wake up with a smile every single day, they're not actually happy to be alive, then whatever they have to say is irrelevant. Whatever they think is irrelevant. You know what they're trying to tell you when they give you advice? Because the only advice people ever give is they're trying to teach you how to be like them. Because that's all they know. Because they think they have this massive ego that thinks that they are the point of reference to everything, right? So when people give you advice, you should really read between the lines and be like, hey, this person is telling me the blueprint to be like them, right? That is all life advice is. So you need to be very careful who you take advice from, because anybody trying to tell you, you should do this, you should do that, you should think like this, you should think like that, you should eat this, you should eat that. Anybody who's telling you that is teaching you how to be like them, right? And that is a form of narcissism, by the way. It's not really a term that I like using because nobody actually knows what it means, and it can mean different things depending on different people, but it is a form of it, right? How people think that they are the point of reference and that you should exactly be like them. It's like, no. And it's the same thing on this channel as well, right? I don't need you to be like me. I don't need you to do the things that I do, right? I preach them because I think it's the truth. I preach them because I think that a lot of people would benefit from a lot of things that I talk about, but never have I said, hey, I need you to be like this, or that you need to be exactly like me, right? If you want to fucking pin steroids and go the fucking unnatural route and do all this crazy shit, do it. If you want to consume junk food and be a degenerate loser jerking off 10 times a day, do it, right? If you want to avoid the sun, and if you want to believe in the brainwashing, right, do it. I don't need anybody to be like me, right? I like to find people who are like-minded. I like to influence people positively when they are receptive, right? But if somebody disagrees with me, then that's fine. There are many ways to be happy. There are many wills, there are many paths that one can take, right? Even if you look at the greatest men on earth, conquerors, businessmen, fucking whoever the hell you look up to, athletes, right? All these people have achieved their own version of reality, right? None of them are alike. None of them really... There are certain things that you can draw from each, though, such as unwavering, unreasonable amounts of self-belief. That is like a prerequisite if you actually look at all of them. But aside from that, there's many different ingredients, right? For example, I might be against taking steroids, but that doesn't take away from the fact that certain Mr. Olympias, such as Dorian Yates, for example, they are worth respecting. Those guys, they followed their own path, they followed their own will. That was exactly what they wanted to do. That was what they wanted to bring into reality. And that's what they did. And I respect the hell out of that, right? Even if that's not something that I would do, even if that's not a trade-off that I'm willing to make. And to be fair, I wouldn't really have the genetics for that anyways. But I'm not this kind of guy that's like, oh yeah, if you do steroids, like you're horrible. Or if you do this, you're horrible. If you don't live your life exactly the way I do, you're horrible. It's like, no. I have my perspective. I do the things that I do for a certain reason. And I explain to you why. You can disagree with me, you can disagree with me. The problem that I have is when people do things not knowing that it's leading them towards misery, not knowing that it's not actually what they're supposed to do. That's not actually who they are, right? That is the main issue. Anyways, that's all I had to say. Keep ascending.